Brighton, England. In Lewis Road, the most polluted road in the city, there's a community garden for all, putting on events and campaigning on green issues. This garden is the reason I went to the COP15 in Copenhagen, because they showed the film The Age of Stupid in their garden one summer's eve. On December the 7th, the day before I went to Copenhagen, quite by chance, I see that the garden is to become a Tesco supermarket and a betting shop, even though there's a supermarket directly next to the garden and a very big one a few hundred yards away. Once more, capitalism is destroying nature and keeping people more isolated, less in touch with each other and themselves. And then, I went to Copenhagen. Hello and welcome to Copenhagen. My name is Dylan Strain. Copenhagen is home, of course, to Hans Christian Andersen, the stacking chair and Lego. It's also home to the biggest meeting possibly that mankind's ever had, the World Santa Claus Congress, but that's not until July, so we'll have to make do with the COP15. What's it gonna be? Good cop? Bad cop? Cop out? One thing is for certain, that the skeptics have been out in force. Republicans, Saudi Arabia, the Conservatives, they're all saying that man-made climate change is a myth. So I asked 100 people from around the world, but chiefly England, Austria, Germany and Denmark, is climate change man-made? Yes, 66 people, partially 28, no 4 and don't know 1. England's Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, he's a yes man.
He is saying that it's the last chance to save the world from environmental disaster. His idea is, well, build a third runway at Heathrow, build a lot of new nuclear power stations. That should solve the problem. Gordon Brown will be joined here next week by another 110 political weathercocks. Chief, of course, is going to be Barack Obama. He's turned this event into Copenhagen.
Well, for the corporations it was. They went Copenhagen daft. Coke became a bottle of hope. Their packaging a resource, not a waste. Try telling this to these Peruvians. I asked the question, did the whole family believe the plastic factory where they lived was responsible for their glaciers receding drastically and for their severe water shortage?
Había muchas plásticas, muchas botellas de plásticos encima de los nevados. So Irma says that yes, they believe that, and they say that if the rivers are full of plastic and garbage, and also the fields, the cultivation fields have bumpers and plastic, and they don't degrade, they don't disappear, so it takes a long time to get away. And also when they went to visit Guaytapallana, they found a lot of plastic up there. That's what they took out, away.
Who's putting it up there?
People who go to visit, yeah. They leave it. You know, they drink Coca-Cola.
Tourists?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Peruvians also.
Yeah.
So the COP15 was Copenhagen for the corporations, but what of hope from the people?
Okay, so hello. So I'm on my way to the Climate Forum now, and I've just spotted these two people. This young boy's just come out of school, and oh, I'm terribly sorry. Faux pas there, a huge faux pas. I need to ask you a couple of quick questions. Do you feel quite positive about that we can sort out the mess of climate change?
I don't know if I'm positive. I'm pretty anxious about it, and I really hope. And I hope I can be positive in a week, but I'm just anxious about it.
Yeah. Could you tell me why you're anxious?
I'm afraid that it won't be a success.
Uh-huh.
And I'm afraid that they will mess up because of money.
Big problem that we have all these lobby cooperatives that is just hanging around at COP15 and maybe spoiling it a lot because they have these interests in keeping the world as it is, and maybe that isn't a good thing, and they have a little too much power.
Again, I asked 100 people from all over the world, but chiefly Austria, Germany, Denmark and England, do you think you will be happy with the outcome of the COP15? 5 people said yes, 79 said no, and 16 said they didn't know.
There are 4 things that this conference want to get achieved. They want a big reduction in emissions targets for developed countries. People outside the conference are pushing to as much as 40% by 2020. The second thing they want to do is drastically lower poor countries' emissions. The third one would be to help poor countries with regards to the natural resources that they're destroying, and to stop them destroying any more by offering billions of pounds of aid. And they will also offer billions of pounds of aid to help poor countries with the climate change they're experiencing now and in the future. But there was already a huge rift developing inside the building with regards to how much aid the rich countries are going to offer the poor countries. Anyway, I'm off to the Climate Justice Action Group now. They're holding a press conference. They're going to talk about what type of direct action they'll be doing over the next 2 weeks.
A broad international network, Climate Justice Action, brought a message of system change, not climate change, and non-violence.
We are mobilizing for an action that is having the codex of no intentional personal harm. And as I said before, that basically just means we are not going to go around hitting people in the head, and we're not going to throw stuff at people. We will not react with violence if the police try to escalate the situation, but we will use any creative means to get through the barriers we meet on our way.
But despite Tani Naibo repeating herself, the press only seemed interested in possible trouble between activists and police. Something Naomi Klein picked up on over at the People's Forum.
Angelica asked us to make our voices heard, and I think we really do need to do that. We need to really show the face of this counter movement here before this summit is done. I said at the opening of Klima Forum that there's a place for rage and there's a place for civil disobedience. I was not saying, as some news reports claimed, that Copenhagen should be trashed. I really don't think so. I think that's a very bad idea. And I'm going to say that explicitly, even though people are always telling me, don't say it's bad, don't say it's bad. Listen. The reason why it's bad is precisely because of what we're seeing here. This conversation that has started here about the real face of environmentalism as a class war that is being waged by the rich against the poor has never happened before. There has never been global media attention on this discussion. If we allow the media to change the discussion into broken windows in Copenhagen, which is the boringest discussion in the world, okay, we have truly failed. But I'm not saying that there shouldn't be direct action. There should be direct action. And I want to...
Yes, all around me, the press were droning on about possible violence. So I asked, your message is system change, to which I'm completely sympathetic. What would you like to see change?